y'all. So this is another update on the Raw Angles vlog, more of the behind the scenes, getting a sense of like what my experience with different things have been like, right? For this episode, I want to get into what my job search experience has been like so far and kind of compare pre-COVID to what it's been like after COVID and where I'm at now. As you can see, I'm still in a house that I packed up with my mom. Long story short, COVID got in the way and we were forced to not move anymore. So we're back. It sounds pretty empty in here because nothing's on the walls. So excuse the echo. If there's an echo, I think I can hear an echo. So you might hear it. My bad. But before I get into everything, I want to address what's going on in the world right now, specifically within the United States. First and foremost, rest in peace. And I want to call for justice for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Sean Reed, Ahmaud Arbery, Tony McDade, David McAtee, and countless others who have suffered and continue to suffer under the hand of racist, negligent, or careless police officers and other individuals who have been emboldened by this notion of white supremacy. People are hurting. People are tired. People have been begging to be heard for years. And on top of all of that, now many of us are dying, sick, and or unemployed. There's that old saying that talks about poking a sleeping bear and seeing what happens when it wakes up. Some people talk about like waking a sleeping giant. This may not even be that waking moment for real, but best believe this is going to affect you if it has not already. It's going to touch everybody. It does touch everybody. So everyone has a role to play. If you're wondering what you can do, how you can help, or where you can learn more information, there are plenty of resources out there available to you for free. All you need to do is Google. One of those resources is blacklivesmatters.card with 2 R's.co, and that link is also in this episode's description. There you can find a ton of resources for educating yourself, getting involved, knowing where to donate, and a whole bunch more. I'd encourage you to do your due diligence as you visit these sources, figure out what you want to do or what you can do, and play your part. Also, please, if you have not done so already, make sure you're registered to vote. If you're out there protesting, be safe, be smart, and protect yourself. So now that that's been said, let's get into this update. This is going to be a little different than many of the other updates I've done in the past. All through February, I was recording, noting my experience during my job search. And so I have a bunch of footage from pre-COVID. And then once COVID hit, I kind of threw all of that recording stuff out the window. A whole bunch of stuff has been going on due to the virus. I'm sure everybody has their individual, struggles that are associated with that. Clearly, I am still in the house that was packed up in the last episode, if you watched online on YouTube. But I did want to share those events and my experience pre-COVID so you can kind of get a sense of what I was going through then. So I think I'm going to split this episode up into 2 parts and possibly drop them on the same day. Not quite sure just yet. But what I'm thinking is that for part 1, so this episode, I'll share with you the compilation of recordings that I created for the month of February, which represents the pre-COVID experience for me looking for jobs and interviewing. And then for part 2, we'll go into more of like how my experience was post-COVID, which was way different, and how I navigated that and where I'm at currently. I'll be sure to link part 2 in the description and in the video for you to check out once it drops, if it doesn't drop on the same day as this episode. And of course, anything that I talk about in this episode that I feel is a good resource for you to check out, I'll drop in the description as well. So I want to drop a disclaimer really quick before we get into what pre-COVID job searching was like for me. In this part 1, I talk a lot about my excitement in regard to the interview I had with Facebook. I was really excited to interview for this position at Facebook in particular because there was not a lot of representation, as in Black people, on the UX research team that I saw on their website. I wasn't the hugest fan of Facebook as a company just because of some of the things that they've done or that, we've all read about in the past. But now I would like to make myself perfectly clear In this moment, June 2020, recent events have solidified this company in the category of organizations that I cannot see myself working for at this point, period. The CEO has made that perfectly clear for me, so I just wanted to make myself perfectly clear. I'm not saying that it's a no forever. There could be some time in the future where that could turn around depending on who's running the organization, but as of right now, in this moment, it's a no for me. But a few months ago, I was really excited about it, and now I'm gonna share it with y'all. So here we go. As far as this UX researcher position and that interview experience, it was great. I really enjoyed the people who interviewed me. They answered my questions very thoroughly, and one of my questions was about diversity and the lack thereof when it came to just Facebook itself and also in the UX research department. And so I really appreciated all of their answers and their candidness and their honesty. I also spoke to a recruiter from Google last Monday, so we'll see, you know, how things go with that. I'm just kind of feeling out things over there, you know, putting out feelers and seeing if there are any cool opportunities that I could take advantage of in the LA area. I've compromised on a lot of different things when it comes to like the jobs that I've had and the jobs that I've applied for in the past, like salary, location, work, place, culture. There's a lot of things that I should not have compromised, but now I've come to really know my self-worth as an addition, an asset to an organization, no matter if it's for-profit, nonprofit, like community, whatever. And my time is very valuable. And I have come to be super aware of what that actually means and what that means for me and what I choose to put myself in, what different situations I choose to be involved in, where I choose to work, who I choose to do work with, etc. So I'm getting paid. I'm going to be where I want to be. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I won't be compromising on things that I feel are really important, especially for my growth and for my sanity. Point blank, period. There it is. After my interview, I checked out last week, honestly. Like this last week was when Kobe and Gianna and the rest of the people on the helicopter, they passed. And so I could not concentrate at all. Like, rest in peace. For real. My condolences to like all of the basketball community, all of the Black men out there that have been thoroughly affected, and his family members too. That shit is just, it's a lot. I extended myself some grace. I still had to like process some things. And so as far as other job opportunities have gone, I haven't gotten any. Like, I get emails from people who are headhunting for contractors all of the time, and that's cool, but none of the contracts have really been in California. Most of them have been in like the DMV area or Chicago or like some random places, Missouri and stuff, and I'm not trying to be over there like at all. Also, almost forgot, I finished my intentions painting on time. Okay, so I finished it on the 31st. I wanted to finish it by the end of January, and that's just what I did. So it's actually right here. This is my painting. It's my intentions for this year. So I have a word for the year, which is boldly, with the emoji lightning bolt. So yeah, it's all included in that. But as far as the phrase for this year, it's boldly on purpose. I was gonna say I hope you guys like it. I mean, I kind of do, but I low-key don't care. But that is my my painting, and I like it. So that's really all that matters. As far as everything else, I'll keep you guys updated, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Or I guess in the next clip. I don't really know where this is gonna go yet. So right now it's just like job search blues. Of course, you get hit with a whole bunch of rejection emails from automated systems, and like this week was one of those weeks. And woke up to a nice rejection email, and it just kind of really sucks, you know, when you're applying for jobs and you like work on your resume really hard and you work on your portfolio really hard, and you're like really proud of the work that you've done, and you just get hit with rejection, like automated rejection emails. Like not even like a real person wrote this message, you know, didn't even get to talk to anybody or like hear why you were rejected. And I know that there are thousands upon thousands of submissions, And so you can't really expect to have a personalized message. I get that. Like, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But I just know, like, as a person who's looking for a job, it just sucks. And I feel like other people feel this too. You know how you see people on Twitter, like when they get laid off or when they're just looking for a position, that they'll tweet about it. I had not tweeted about it at all. Like, I tweeted about my portfolio being done and how I wanted feedback, but I never actually tweeted, hey, I'm Nannearl. I'm a UX researcher and I'm looking for UX researcher and or like a research heavy UX design position in Los Angeles, preferably open to, like, you know, I didn't do all that. And so I was thinking about it yesterday because I got some encouragement. I ended up doing it last night. Like, why did I think that I shouldn't do this? Like, you've seen other people do it. I have had an opportunity come from Twitter. And I've made some cool connections on Twitter. So it's just like, what's the deal? And I figured it was more like imposter syndrome mixed with like shame a little bit. Because it's like, oh, you know, you are super smart. I have 3 degrees. And why don't I have a job? And I know it doesn't really have to be that way. And I might be the only one thinking what I'm thinking. But it just... you know, I still felt it. It was still there, so it was still real. Also, it's just like, you know, is there like a minimum experience that you need to have in order to like put yourself out there on Twitter? And why do I think that I don't have that? I've been working, like I've got shit under my belt. So it's just like in retrospect, when you sit back and think like hindsight being 2020 or whatever, it's like, why didn't I just do that before? If you didn't like get anything from that, just know if you're looking for a job and you have a Twitter, tweet that shit. Tweet it. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. People do it all the time and people get good opportunities from doing it. So like, why not? So yeah, that's it for today. It's February 6th. Hey, what's going on, you guys? So today is February 11th. And it's been like 2 weeks since I had my Facebook interview. I wrote back to the recruiter yesterday because I still hadn't heard anything, and she replied back to me, and I am not moving forward in the interview process. And I can't sit here and say it doesn't suck. It doesn't feel shitty, because it surely does. Of course, like, you know, I'm still like real proud of how I did, but it kind of like stings even more so just because I felt the interview went really well. So on to the next, of course, but at the same time, it's just like, it sucks. Like, it sucks. You spend all this time preparing and all this time on your freaking portfolio if you're doing UX and all of that to go through a great interview and then find out you didn't make it through. So I have an interview, like a phone screen, scheduled for next week from like for this company in LA. So we'll see. In Los Angeles is where I want to be, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we just got to keep pushing. But this is like one of the low points in the process, and like especially after going through and like prepping and doing all of the shit that I did and still am doing to really land a job. It's like I'm in a place where I'm like really trying to get out of. I'm not like super desperate. Come on. But you know, I'm in a place. It's just sometimes you just sit back and you're like, wow, like what is all of this for? Like, for real. So like, if you are in any way relating to this, or if you're in your job search, job hunt process, in the thick of it, like just feeling like F this shit, like I feel you. Like, I really do. But I'm also here to encourage you. So, you know, don't give up, of course. Keep pushing. All that good stuff. I'm right there with you. Just keep going. I'm going to keep going, so you got to keep going. Like, that's just what it is. One of these days, we're going to get some good news. I'll tell you that. But yeah, I'm sad right now. I don't have any chocolate to make me feel better. And I don't have any extra money to go buy me some chocolate to make me feel better. So that's where we at. It's cool to like take a break though. Like if you need a day to just soak, not a day, maybe like a couple hours. But you could take a day. If you really need a day, then just take a day. But also like after, having my little pity party for like an hour, I went back online and went on JobScan and submitted to a couple other positions. We all go through it. At least, I do. So if you think you're by yourself and you like just have no proof whatsoever that anybody else is going through it, like nobody's talking about it, here I am. So what's up? Like if you trying to vent, like hit me up. I don't know if I'm gonna have the emotional capacity to really take in what you want to say. Feel free to leave comments. I can definitely respond to those. So now I am still in the midst of like applying for jobs and everything. I am prepping for the launch of Unpacked Angles, and it's so much. My computer is so slow. So yeah, as far as my job search goes, still looking for jobs. Since I've like kind of figured out this way to use JobScan, I have now revamped and like given my resume a makeover. Like it looks great. I made it in Canva. And so now I'm sending out those resumes and I'm being more targeted, I guess, to like where I'm sending my resume to. Also, I wasn't doing this from the very beginning, but I started to, I think last week or the beginning of this week, where I have made a spreadsheet of all of the positions that I've been applying for and the companies and like when I applied and like what the status updates of those are. So that's the end of a compilation. My experience in February, for the most part, was that I had a good number of opportunities to interview for a few different companies that I didn't mention in the compilation, but a lot of them never really resulted into anything. I think I'll talk more about like the actual process that I went through with each of the interviews in part 2. That process was, for the most part, very similar, so I'll probably only talk about it in a general sense. But yeah, obviously after that, I launched Unpacked Angles, and then COVID hit New York pretty hard. Helped my mom pack up her house and almost move. I relocated for a little bit, as you might be able to tell in the episode from before when I talked about making good screeners, and had my experience searching for a job after COVID. I guess I'll stop here. I don't want this episode to be super long. And before you hop over to part 2, again, feel free to visit blacklivesmatters.card with 2 R's.co to see how you can help make a difference. Stay strong.